Good morning to all of you. Welcome back to the Namaste experience. So happy to be here with you. I'm not in the car today. I'm back at my house in Portland and really happy to be able to join with you this Friday morning, wherever you are. It's wonderful for us to lift above this world together so that we can see everything in a new way, have a wider, a higher perspective of what is really happening. Now, for a moment, I want to go back to the prayer that we just started with. For those of you who may be watching on Zoom, we always start with our morning prayer and affirmation. And the prayer itself was something that sort of came to me spontaneously a number of months ago. We've been using it in our sessions ever since. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put it back on the screen so you can all see it. One moment. Okay, so what did I do it wrong? Let me try it again. There we go. Why is this prayer so important? Let's focus on the first line. My soul has but one goal. One goal. That's going to be the key. Each one of these phrases has the word one goal, one desire, one focus. And this is literally the energy that lifts us above the world like a giant hot air balloon. This is the air that lifts us above everything that holds us hostage. That one goal, one desire, that one focus, a single focus upon love itself. So the one goal of the soul is to awaken to the truth that is forever true. If something is forever true, it shouldn't be difficult to awaken into that experience. And yet for some reason, our desire for many things, for this 1 minute and for something else the next, and then a million other things in between, it keeps us lost and we're unable to have that focus that's required to awaken to the truth that is forever true. And then, of course, the heart is a fire. And if there's only one desire, it's like a burning inferno. And I can feel that fire burning away everything that it does not need or require. And so this is why it's so important that we focus that heat, focus that desire, and to be passionate, to remember the passion of infinite bliss. Isn't that something that we all want? Infinite bliss? Doesn't that sound like the greatest adventure we could ever go on here in this human form? We know that when we are experiencing infinite bliss, everything else just naturally falls together exactly as it should. But we have to want that. Once again, this is about desire for one thing. And then, of course, the mind needs to focus. So the mind should have only one focus, only one thing that we're focused on, and that's to embrace the reality that is forever real. I like statements like this: the truth that is forever true, the passion of infinite bliss, the reality that is forever real, as opposed to the unreality that is never real. Isn't it interesting that this has been the focus? This is the only focus of the ego mind. It's true that we need, in order to expand into reality, we need to have a passionate focus on what is true. But until now, our ego mind, our split mind, has had a rather passionate devotion to the unreality that is never real. And yet, the difference is that now you know that. Now you understand that all of your energy has been bent upon making the unreal real. But that can never happen. An illusion can never be the truth. A shadow can never be that which casts the shadow. We need to realize that I am that. I am the one that chose to cast the shadow. Therefore, I am the one who can turn my attention back to the real. And finally, I make a choice to awaken right now to the infinite love that is my source. Another way of saying that would be to say God, to awaken to the divine within. And I have to give everything. I have to be willing to give my life, my passion, everything to this love. Love with a capital L, which is just another way of saying God, because God or love has given everything to me. And finally, the affirmation of all affirmations. I am awake now. In this moment, I choose to realize the truth that is forever true within me and to see it everywhere else, in each person that I encounter, each person I even think of. In fact, that's always the quickest way. As we know, I've been working with people in my coaching program, and I'm always encouraging them, just go out and give this away. If you want to experience this reality, this bliss, this joy, give it away. Be the source of this to others. That's how simple this really is. Give that which you want. Well, actually realize that which you want. That's the first step. And then give it away. So it's a very simple message, but one that we need to hear over and over, because the more we hear this message and the more we apply it simply in our lives, the more tangible the experience becomes. So I'm going to stop there for a moment, and I would love to hear what Vicki has to say about that. And then I'll piggyback again onto what Vicki says, because she always inspires me so much. So good morning to you, Victoria.
Hi, Brother James. Good morning, great big family. And I understand it's Brenda's birthday. Happy birthday, Brenda. She's here just about every day, as many of us are. Most of us are. Anyway, so, it is, and thanks for keeping it simple, because how else could we do this so well together? It's just about letting a concern go. And if we pay attention to what's on our minds, it does mean we have to pay attention. We have to be willing to be aware of what's holding our attention. Is it concern about this, that, health, this relationship, something moving, coming, going? Whatever the concern is, that's the desire that has replaced our desire for everything. We've taken the everything and we've limited to some little thing. Oh, I just want a good relationship with this one person. I just want this job. I just want this health. One thing instead of everything, like let it go. And what we do here, it's not easy to walk away from the hypnosis of time and space, of the world. We have all been under its spell willingly, but we've been under its spell probably lifetimes and lifetimes, but not this lifetime. This lifetime, something in us kicked in. That soul, the light in us kicked in and said, enough, not this lifetime, no more. From the time we were children, all of us recognize that we've had experiences one way or another of something more than what we see, something more than everybody dying, everybody getting old and sick. Something has to be more than that. Every kid can tell you that. And thank God, I was singing to my grandson last night, the young at heart, don't you know that it's worth every treasure on earth to be young at heart, right? But what's young at heart? It's just open to everything. It's not covering the everything with one little desire. That's why we are called to be like little children, to be open, to discover, to let everything reveal itself. In today's lesson from Daily Word, it's talking about grace, what serendipity is. Serendipity became the kind of buzzword for grace that steps in and brings everything to a natural harmony. That's grace. That's a byproduct of wanting only the truth, only the love that we are. And when you think of it, it's pretty simple. The everything includes all these other things. Seek ye first, and then all these things will be added unto you. Your Father knows you need food on the table and a roof over your head, but seek only the kingdom. And the kingdom is nothing but the love that we are. That's all it is. And that love opens up. So we see a little hint of it and we feel a little bit. We feel it when we see a rose or a sunset. But if we pay attention and want that love to be what it really is, to see it beyond the appearances we look at, we have to just keep paying attention to it and let everything else go. That's why this is a course, and no matter which tradition you come through, somewhere it's a practice of mindfulness, whether you keep your attention on your breath, whether you do mantras or mudras or Course in Miracle lessons or who knows what. It's definitely a practice of letting go of false thinking that's temporal, letting go of everything that's temporal to take up our attention. Not that it's bad, it's not good or bad, it just isn't so. So it's not about deciding that, it's worthy of your attention or it isn't. But if you want everything to come back in grace through a serendipitous way, through a natural harmony, if we take our mind off the details and put our mind on the source that we share and that we are, not even knowing what it is, like a kid, like, show me, what is the truth? What is this everything? Show me, and we are shown if we don't clutter up our minds. It's that simple. Today's lesson, one of my favorites and one of the best music you ever did, Brother James. In quiet, we receive God's word today. In quiet, quiet doesn't necessarily mean no physical sound. It means no clutter in the mind. And when I see, I do this is all I do every day. In fact, eventually it's all we ever do. As soon as I catch my mind meandering off on some thinking, instead of meandering off, literally, like, I want to plant some flowers in the front. I don't know how to plant anything. I've never planted a little anything in my life. So, but I have this little 5x8 little space. I figure I better plant something. So then I was thinking, oh, how do I do any of this? Anyway, so my neighbor came, thank God. My neighbor just walked over and gave me an assessment. Nope, you can't just plant here. You got to dig it up. Oh, dig it up. Who knows how to dig it up? Anyway, so then I'm thinking, how do I dig it up? I have to borrow a shovel now. I need to borrow a hoe, a tractor or some machine. Anyway, so I caught myself and I said, who knows what I'm supposed to have for a little garden? I've never had a garden, but the idea of flowers seems like a wonderful idea. So I drop it like a hot potato and say, well, here, Holy Spirit, you're the garden of my life. Let that garden bloom in me, and however you want this to show up, so be it, or not. Whatever that, maybe the rocks are supposed to be there. I'm not going to worry about it. But I caught myself getting obsessed with it. And I'm good at that because I've been good at solving problems a lot of times, which can be a problem when you get used to it. Instead of letting everything be solved for us, be brought to us, be brought through us, through our own hands, without our striving and efforting. It's such a joy to think here we are being invited to live by effortless grace. Who wouldn't want to live by effortless grace anyway? The catch is we think we're going to sacrifice something, give up something. Oh no, I won't get that garden that I want. I better get on it right away. I don't know what I want. It just looks like it's a little messy. Maybe something pretty could be there. But and this is with everything, if I go to the spirit, to the altar, now that place is a universal place of truth within us, our soul, the light that we are. If we go to that altar within and say, what should I do about a garden? I have no idea, but I don't want to clutter my mind up anymore. I want to stay open to the garden that's blooming, the everlasting fountain, the life of love that's already within me. So I'm going to lay this idea down. And then you send it back however you want. Send me to get things, not get things, call help, don't call help. I'll wait by grace for the inspiration. Effortless grace means we live by inspiration and not by the effort and the sweat of our brow. I'm too old to live by the sweat of my brow anymore. Very inefficient. I want to live at ease, by grace, like I see kids. I want to be like that, young at heart. So I was telling my grandson, yeah, you're young at heart. I'm trying to learn how to be just like that. You're open to everything and everything's possible. Of course, everything's possible because there are no restrictions that limit the everything that's already there. So we were talking about how being young at heart is one of those superpowers. It's a superpower like love. If you stay young at heart, that means you're excited about everything and anything because it springs from the happiness that you already are. That's all we have to remember when we're concerned. It can be critical on the verge of putting our bodies down and looks like the end of a lifetime in a body. So be it. Let's open up to life eternal. It's not the temporal that deserves our attention anymore, not even with one another. It's the spark of divinity that deserves all our attention, deserves everything. But we have to find that out for ourselves. That's why this is experiential. So stay young at heart. We're staying that together. That's all we do here. We stay young at heart together, trust the invisible to show up visibly as whatever we need, and enjoy it all. Enjoy it all allows love to direct us, to fill us, to fulfill us, for each of us to fulfill what is ours to give away. We're here to give, not to get anything, because it's in the giving we are showered with everything. Okay, Brother James, got anything in there you can use?
Oh, yes, you've given me so much to work with. I just had such a good feeling about turning it over to you early. And boy, to be young at heart, to be fresh, to be awake. Wow, I just love the way you set that up. And most of all, how you described how we, in our split mind, we are constantly desiring something other than everything. And this is the biggest trick of the ego, the idea that I can somehow have more than everything. That somehow one thing, one isolated, whatever it may be, a relationship, a possession, a job, whatever it may be, that can give me more than everything, or that it's impossible for me to embrace everything. But everything is within us right now. We just have to open to it. It seems such a strange idea that everything could be available to us because everything is so simple. It's not the complicated external thing that we think it is. Like, I could never get all this. We look at the stars of the sky, billions upon billions of stars. And how could we contain all of that? But it's really so simple. It's just in the moment, a single desire. That's why we started talking about that single desire today, to want only one thing. And then, of course, the answer that you brought out so beautifully, Vicky, is the truth is we can't figure this out on our own, but to keep surrendering and say, show me how to do this. Show me how to desire everything. Show me how to want only one thing, and that's the peace of God. And then to hold still within that. In quiet, I receive God's word today. To hold still within that, to be quiet, to listen deeply, and to have the confidence that we will be shown. Everything we need will be given to us. I think all of us here have that confidence at this point. Most of you, as you said, Vicky, come here every day. We join together every day. We have a community of Namaste Village people all over the world. It doesn't matter if you've never even stepped foot at the physical location of Namaste Village. It's in your heart. It's in the joining. And that's why we join here together every day, is to keep reminding ourselves and each other, to keep this fresh in our mind. To me, that's what it means to be young of heart. We keep this reality fresh in our mind. There's only one thing that I want. There's only one desire that's going to give me what I want, everything. So let's spend the day giving that away, giving everything away. How do we do that? Well, if we just keep asking for guidance and keep asking to be shown how, we will be shown. But one way or another, it's going to be just to love each other, no matter what. And that can be very challenging. In fact, it's when it's most challenging that we can rise to the occasion, literally rise to the occasion, that we receive the greatest gift. If there's someone that I've been having an issue with, or there's a grievance that I've been holding in my mind, or someone's been holding a grievance against me, this is the opportunity to truly rise in this grace, to give everything to everything. because if I can love even in those situations, then that is truly my superpower. There is no power greater than that in the whole universe, to love no matter what. Just imagine the revolution that could happen if we plant those seeds. Talk about planting a garden. If we plant the seeds of loving no matter what, it is the most compelling thing in the universe. Aren't you? When you're around someone who is just loving in every situation, loving no matter what is happening in front of them, isn't that compelling? Don't you feel the impact of that? And there's something inside you that says, that's what I want. Our soul recognizes this, that desire, that longing, that willingness, and that action to love no matter what, to stay young at heart. So that's it. I'm feeling guided to see if Calico is in the room. And Calico, we do have a few minutes if you're out there. You usually are. If you would like to share something about your experience of being young at heart, we would love to hear it.
Boy, I tell you, I am here and I'm just hang on. It's been a full day so far. I was up at 2:30 writing emails. Calls and and it's all this that we're working with. It's exactly what you're talking about. Just to say something about this, there were a couple of people that were coming clear on their projections and seeing harshness in their projection, and they're in mind training with me, and so they're pulling back those projections, and it's becoming real how harsh they are on themselves. And it's like, when Vicky talks about being young at heart, it's very hard to be young at heart if you're holding harshness against yourself. And so all I can say is recognize those thoughts, acknowledge them, don't feel guilt-ridden about them. They're just thoughts. Pull them back and ask for help with Holy Spirit to see them differently. The miracle in that goes beyond any boundary I've ever known. And it's like, if we could truly love ourselves as God loves ourselves, oh my God, what a world. Talk about serendipity. My definition of serendipity, because I've loved that word for a long time, just like the sound of it, serendipity. It's the ability to play the fool. That's been my definition. And that's more like the ability to be the child without making it wrong. And so I just invite everyone to allow those feelings of harshness that we have towards ourselves. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. I should look this way. I should, whatever, the shoulds. Let them go. And there may be some tears that come up with it. That's okay. That's showing you the shadow, and it's healing the shadow at the same time. And then allow that serendipity to fill that space, because you can't put in when there's no room. So you've got to give something up. And I say, give up anything that you dislike about yourself. Sounds silly, but the experience of it is just bliss. It's a serendipitous moment. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Gallico. You always have that wonderful exclamation mark right at the end that just brings it to life. Stop shoulding on yourself. We put so many shoulds all over ourselves, each other, the world. We don't have to do that anymore. We can just give all of our love away. Give it all away. I promise you, more is going to return to you. The more love you give to others, the more you're going to feel within your heart. That which I give to thee is received by me. And if I'm constantly giving judgment, guess what? That's what's going to come back. But if I can just make the simple choice to give only love, there's nothing that keeps us younger and more vibrant than that. And isn't that what we want? To be vibrant, to be energetic, to have that frequency just buzzing within us, the frequency of love itself. When you're around someone like that, like I always use Vicky as the example because she's such a great example. When you're around someone like Victoria, boy, you just feel the frequency and you want that. And I know many people in this room are the same way. You go out in your life and you live this example. It's so beautiful. So thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Calico. Now, we don't usually call on people, but we do have a couple of minutes, and I see Peter has got his raised hand. And so, Peter, I'm wondering if you could sing us out, because Peter has an amazing voice. And if you want to unmute, and if you have a little something that you could sing us out with, that might be a real gift. So go right ahead, brother.
Thank you, Jimmy. I guess, instead of singing for me, I was thinking about Uncle Arthur in the movie Mary Poppins that you brought up the other day. We have to never forget to laugh, like Bill Thetford's title of his book says, never forget to laugh. Laughter is how we overcome this entirety that we've created, we've made up here. The world is overcome in happy laughter. So I love to laugh long and loud and clear. I love to laugh. And that's it. That's the key. We have to remember to laugh because everything weighs us down and the balloon starts to, fall towards the earth again. Then we remember to laugh and the balloon ascends and we're way up high. I mean, that's how it works for me. So go in laughter and there's nothing that we cannot accomplish, holding each other's hands, skipping to God's song and happy laughter. Thank you so much.
Oh,
love you guys.
That was a good reminder. That's right. Just remember to laugh. Find some ways today. This is your homework assignment for today and the weekend. Just find some ways that you can remember to laugh at the absurdity of the illusion of separation. Just laugh right through it. If you find yourself suddenly attached to something that you really know now has no true meaning, just let it go. Just laugh at it and say, there's only one thing that I want. Affirm that and laugh at the rest. You'll certainly find yourself young at heart. So thank you, everyone. Have a blessed weekend. We love you so much. And I'll be back. We'll all be back on, Sunday, if you want to come to the Unity service at Namaste Village. And of course, on Monday, we'll be back together. So have a beautiful, blessed day. We love you.
Love you.
Namaste.
Blessings.
Thank you.
Namaste. Have an enjoyable weekend all.
Namaste.
Namaste, everyone.
Bye.